Why can't I hear anything? I don't know what's going on right now, but I can't hear anything through my headphones. Oh, that can go away. Also, I'm not using Restream today. One sec. This has been a fun adventure. Nope, that's the wrong widget. There we go. So there's not really chat, so that big yellow thing on the side doesn't really matter. Hey, Michaela. Hey, Cactus. What's up? My mic is now kind of low. It shouldn't be. It is up all of the way. Yeah, everything is maxed out. Let's try this, though. Maybe this is better. I don't know. Everything's weird right now. I don't know what happened. I updated the Elgato software, of course, before this, and I was like, everything's gonna be fine. Levels are gonna work, and it did not. Yeah. Hold on. Let me go close my door real quick. All right, sweet. So that's better. Sounds like many things are better. Sorry, I forgot my wife's on a meeting, and having things like that should be... I should close my door while I'm streaming, while she's on a meeting. Yeah, always a great idea for that to happen, right? To have the stream, to have the update right before the stream. So yeah. Sweet. So today, now that I'm all frazzled because stuff isn't working, today we are going to be continuing through Coffee Tracker. Today that means that we'll be trying to finish up the beans writing to Firestore, which is great, and then also trying to figure out the public side of things, because part of what I want to do is allow beans to be able to be in a public database, a public record, I guess, not database, at the same time, so that we can, so that users don't have to always put in the beans. Like, they could search for beans as well. But to do that, I have to also build in a way for people to contribute to that. Sweet. Yeah. Also excited for you to be here, Michaela. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a while since you've been to a stream. It's also been a while since I streamed. At first, the beginning of the year, I started streaming, did it for a couple weeks. Not the issue, but I also wasn't streaming just on Twitch. I was streaming on YouTube as well, just YouTube, on a brand new YouTube channel. I have now decided Twitch actually allowed me to take both away, not take both away. Wow. Today's gonna be a great stream. Twitch has now allowed multi-streaming for both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, or Twitch and other platforms at the same time. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm able to stream both. So there's YouTube going on, that's at HeyJCodes, and Twitch, which is here. So yeah. Attempting to join through Cell Signal, but you're here. Well, welcome to be here. Either way. So yeah, so let's hop into coding. I'm trying not to use Restream today, just because I wanted to try to schedule the stream, and then the schedule didn't work. I'll probably go back to Restream, and then this part will make a lot more sense, like the big yellow part, wherever we get the chat and such to go. But next time. Hey Weaver, what's up? Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, never mind. Restream now just works, I guess, even if I'm not going through Restream. So great, there is still a reason. Yeah, Twitch does allow multi-streaming now. Do it. Why not? And then you don't have to worry about, you stream to YouTube mainly, but streaming to YouTube and Twitch was just easier. So now I don't have to export the video and then get it onto YouTube. I can just do it at the same time. I am using Ecamm to stream. Ecamm allows multi-streaming through their own platform. So because I use Ecamm to stream already to YouTube or Twitch whenever I was doing single streams. I'm now using Ecamm to just do the multi-stream. We're gonna see if my internet can handle it though. Plus, you know, my wife's video call meeting. Yeah, it's a time. Oh, I like the Kraken arms. That's a good little emoji put there. What's going on, Weeru? How's it going? It has been a while. Hey, Dobby, stop. Don't worry, it has not been long enough that Dobby does not like on every stream. Oh, work stress. That's not a fun time. Let's get into this. Cool. For y'all that are so let's do a recap as to what's happened lately. Yeah, no, I agree. Ecamm is very pricey. Oh, yeah, my internet right now is dying. Hopefully it's not dying for the stream, though. It seems like it's fine, at least on YouTube. App view is not... Oh, let's do public init. Cool. So this is going to run. Oh, thanks for subscribing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for using Prime. Yeah, no, yeah, Ecamm is quite spendy. It's also really hard to just keep justifying year over year. My issue is I keep forgetting to cancel the subscription, but then I remember I have it and I actually use it for things now again. So here we are. Yeah, so it's pricey. I probably don't even break even. But yeah. You know, I think OBS probably does multi-streaming. I don't know if they do it as nicely as Ecamm. That's part of the reason I don't mind paying for Ecamm, because it has some nice things. App configure did not work. What happened? But I think it does to an extent. I could be wrong though. This was working like before we left last time. That's true. I get to deduct that on taxes every year. Let's see. We do have the app configure, Firebase client. Hey, Dobby, cut it out, please. Thank you. I wonder if this should actually be declared an app view. Well, why am I declaring it so high? I feel like there was a reason I'm declaring it so high before. Yeah, that's definitely it for me, is like, what is the difference on quality of life? Oh, I remember what I was trying to figure out with Firebase client. Yeah. And it's like, where does the quality of life like actually make sense? Because yeah, that's why I went with Ecamm originally, was because quality of life just was way better than OBS, and I can still afford it. Like, it's not like I'm not working it. I'm not like, so it makes sense. And eventually stuff helps. Okay, I remember what I was doing. So I remember what was going on is I was trying to make a Firebase client for live views and a Firebase client for previews last time. And that's what we're trying to do. Ah, yes, Michaela, of course. Let's get your comment in. Let's get you into this one. You're going to be in all the projects that are only half finished. It's great. Wow, Michaela Karen. And today is $2024. Sweet. One day something will ship, I promise. Yeah. Who knows when that day will be, but one day it will ship. Oh, okay. We're going hardcore on these like lines of codes today. Yeah, let's lose the glasses and see what happens. Oh, I apparently have way worse time. Oh, hold on. Before I lose the glasses, I have not set up the timer in Ecamm in a bit. Let's go add a timer. I think I do it for 3 minutes is what I do usually. Countdown. Add. Where does this go? Where did it go? Why? Edit countdown. 3, please. Black, because that'll be easy to save. There we go. Now we can go. All right, and we'll move it globally. If I switch seats, it'll go through. All right, we are losing the glasses. Yeah, I cannot see any of y'all's comments though, so I hope you don't want to like talk. I can barely read what's happening on the screen. I was actually just telling my wife the other day I need to get new sunglasses because they are now blurry enough that I should not be using them to drive. It's been a couple years. All right, so I am guessing that this configuration's not happening before this Firebase client happens. So we'll figure that out. Yeah, the font is an interesting thing. So I wonder if I could just, yeah, so this isn't happening here in time. Let's be really lame here. And I just want to see if this works. If I put in like another view. Yeah, we have a content view. Let's move this to a content view. Your font is normally this big and you still need glasses. That's great. Let's import app core here. App view. Move this back. Wow. I think I'm just going off of muscle memory right now more than anything on where things are, rather than actually knowing like what I'm clicking on, if that makes sense. I think so, because this is, I think this will make the I think this will make the UI application delegate finish first and then get to content view, because I think what was happening was content view. I mean, what was happening was that state was trying to initialize first without the Firebase configuration happening. So let's hope that works. Let's see what happens now. You regularly code at 18. Regularly coding at 18 works. Sweet. So it looks like it is working. We have it here. If I have a bunch of endpoints, it looks like we have some Google stuff coming through, some kind of error here. In-app messaging, which not currently using. Firestore couldn't be completed. The device check provider is not supported on current platform. Okay. Yeah, because device check doesn't work on does not work on simulator devices, so this makes sense as well. All right, so it looks like we are up and going. Let's get into the Firebase console real quick. Oh, and the timer's off. Rough. Let's add a button real quick to Stream Deck. Glasses timer. Sweet. So I think now I should be able to. Perfect. Now if we get asked for glasses, I can take those off whenever. All right, yeah. Am I doing a package architecture or TCA for this project? Oh, why is this no? Why? Okay. I don't know why this is white. Can we change it? That's fine. And then turn off shadow? No, we cannot turn off shadow. That's fine. Oh, edit text. Here we go. Save. Yeah, so I am doing, thank you. I am doing a package architecture, no TCA on this one. But still doing package, like a separate package, a Swift package. So, here, we'll do a rundown of the project real quick, since we have some new people in that haven't seen the project. Everything. So we're using Firebase. This was decided last stream. I'm using Firebase for the storage. So firestore for database. Asset management will be through Firebase, and so will account management. Right now, we're just doing anonymous accounts to get going into you start building out those like rules as well, security rules. So that's that. That's why there's this Google Service Info plist file. And then I go into a separate package for App Core, and this is just breaking it down based on different features of the app. So there's App Core, which holds the app view, the tab view, and navigating to all the different tabs. And then we go into different features from there. So there's a beans feature and a roasters feature, which probably will join together under the same tab, but they are technically separate features. And then we also have a models package in this. The models package is again, just holds literary models. So we have beans, and roasters. Anything that's like going to be kind of shared throughout the app as like a data model is going to go into that library. It shouldn't be a package, it's a library. That way it can just populate through, and hopefully I don't have to be dependent on different packages. Like if I need a roaster model inside the bean package, inside the bean library, I don't have to be dependent on, I don't have to bring in the roasters necessarily. That can live in the models library separately. So yeah, right now, no TCA. I'm trying to stay away from TCA just for ease of getting this built and out. It is currently live, so you can go check it out on GitHub. I think Stream Elements work for me here. That's what I'm working on, but it did not give the GitHub repo. That's fine. So it is being worked on here. Let me just, one more link, it's going to go to both YouTube and Twitch. Cool. Yeah, so you can always go check out the repo there. Sweet. So that's what's going on there. That's like a little bit of a rundown. The repo has a little bit of setup here as well. So there's a Husky. You see that there's a couple .github.husky. I have a couple Git hooks. So I think I just have one actually. A commit message. I really want it to follow the wow. What is it? Conventional commit patterns. And same with the pre-commit hook here to just run a Swift format whenever changes happen. And that's kind of all managed via npm. I went for a npm/pm here, honestly, just because I'm more familiar with it than like a Ruby type setup, which a lot of app developers go for. iOS app developers go for. I like my web development apparently a lot. Yeah, but that's how that's set up in the repo. There is and then I also have release please set up in the repo as well, so that it can do release notes for me once I get there. Whenever this rewrite is done, we'll bump it actually to 2.0 instead of 1.2.0. But that's what I got. Let's go to Firebase real quick. Console.firebase. I just want to make sure I get directly here. Great. And like I said, everything is in Firestore. So there are some parts of Firestore that are completely public. I don't care if people have access to read or write. No, I care if they have access to write. I don't care if they have access to read, basically. Like these coffee properties, completely open. People can read them. Users, you have to be logged in to get to. So right now we can see there's no collections in here, but we do have the date last signed in. So whenever the user launches the app, it's going to log in, sign in here, which is nice. This is just to make sure that like it doesn't break for me while I'm developing at this point. So where we're at though, was I was trying to get the previews to work inside the app core. So let's go see if they will work now. How I'm doing this is I have a Firebase client, which is a class, and it just says if it's live, if it's true, if it's live, we're going to do true. If it's if it's not live, we'll go to client, Firebase preview client. So I have this FB client protocol that whatever functions I access and values I access via Firebase will have a separate, will have to be declared here. That way the protocols stay in sync so that previews aren't dependent on Firebase itself, and I can provide whatever mocks I need to. So eventually we'll get to a point where like, where'd it go? So let's say Firestore, right? We have this create bean and user function here. Eventually I'll probably have like a read the bean, get all beans from user, right? So instead of having to call out to Firebase for my previews, I'll have in here, there'll be another function that just returns my mock beans, basically. Again, that way I can quickly build my previews without being really dependent on Firebase there. I hope so. I hope that's how it works. We'll find out. I might have to separate those a little bit more. But that's how that should go. So let's see if that works. I can also, you're right, I can also set up a Firebase emulator, and that would avoid this. I've done that before, setting up a Firebase emulator. It was easy. I honestly just don't know why I didn't do that. I could do that now. But that's one more process I then have to run on my computer just for previews. I guess I would just, because, oh, yes, I did actually talk about this in my last stream. I chose not to do this for right now because I would rather be able to just communicate out to a live Firebase client, except for previews currently. I want to get to a point, I know it's possible to put Firebase config in my package. So I want to be able to do that as well. But again, ease of shipping, I just want this out. So once this ships, I'm gonna have 2 Firebase projects basically. At least this is my plan. One for dev and one for production. So that dev, I can test things out on. Maybe I want to introduce notifications or something later. I can do that. I can test that all out on dev with a live environment, which emulators is basically a live environment. But it gets me a little bit closer, right? Like I can get all the same security rules. They all like follow in. There is still a little bit thing in the emulators. There's still a little bit things that are just slightly different enough that I don't want to hit right now. Let's see this work though, hopefully. Any stream coming up soon, we'll move the config file for Google for Firebase into the package. But we won't do that until later. I want to get the app like working first, basically. Oh, hold on. This is going to fail. Wrong scheme. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. Maybe it'll work now. My computer has really been struggling lately, and I'm super upset with how it's been struggling. Sweet. Looks like we are running, and I did not get any... I don't know where the success is coming from. But cool. Looks like it is working right. Oh, I wonder if I actually... There should be a print in here. Preview. Yeah. I should make these a little bit better. Let's do... Oh, how would I recommend recommend to set up an onboarding flow to be shown first and then not shown again? I've generally done it with user defaults, which works, but it's only on a per device thing. And if they reinstall the app, I think it won't stay again. So then they have to sit through it again. Another option is to store it wherever you're keeping the users like preferences. So, or however you're storing that. So like, in this case, if I'm doing an onboarding, I'd probably store it honestly in firestore here under my user doc, and has a like scene onboarding. And I'd probably want to like has scene onboarding, and to keep it really simple, just true, false. And that way, if they've seen an onboarding, we check this first, right? The firestore. If firestore has been seen, if firestore onboarding has been seen, great, show it. If not, don't show it. I mean, if it's been seen, don't show it. If it hasn't been seen, do show it. And I'd probably still want to have that stored in user defaults. That way, in case they try to access the app, like the last pulled value, that way if they try to access the app and they're not online, I can say whether or not to do it or not. Yeah, I feel like that's a decent way. Now, the issue, and this is way overthinking, is like, what if you have a different onboarding section that you want to roll them through again? So like, I don't know, there's just something really important to highlight in onboarding again. Then it would just be more like values that you have to keep track of in the onboard for knowing if onboarding has been seen or not. Yeah. We've solved that at work by just introducing a new user default field property, and that's what the new one listens for. And that way we can start just tracking like V1, V2 of onboarding and such like that. Preview login was successful. Preview. Update. User login. Wow, let's just do this. Preview create being in user was successful. Cool. I also liked this way with the FB client. Again, I know you can use an emulator in tests, but this would allow me, if I do want to write tests, I could then make like a mock one for sure. At the app level file, should I use an enum to navigate the user through onboarding and then eventually to the main screens? I think it depends on how you want to get from onboarding to the main screen, honestly. Yeah, enum, I mean a switch, or yeah, like an enum would totally work, or a an enum, or even if you just did a full screen, I guess you could still do like a full screen cover, right? If you wanted to, and that way the app is just loaded in the background waiting. And then you just have a full screen cover in front of it. Last one just closes, it slides down, and they see the app, how it needs to be. Switching would totally work, and that doesn't load anything in the background if you don't need it to. If elsing would, again, not load anything in the background, whereas like a full screen cover on top of your app would start all the processes that go on behind that full screen cover, right? So yeah, I feel like you're going to probably want an enum there of some kind, or at the very least an if else to like check between the two. Yeah. Because you really wouldn't want to be a tab view there or anything. Like, it's not going to be a separate tab. I think I've seen it a couple. I think I currently do an iHog, a like if else statement, honestly. Let's see. We can go check this out. Oh, come back. Onboarding. Oh, where to go? Now I have to figure out how iHog works. Yeah, if show onboarding, else do the setting, go into the settings view. That's what I do currently in iHog. And then if show onboarding is a app. So I just do it in app storage here. So we do a settings. So we do a user default. Am I showing onboarding or not? Default it to true. And then they have to go through onboarding and an if else. Onboarding view, just because onboarding also has some setups that I really need to happen. And then inside onboarding, I do a switch case to go through the different steps. Yeah, no, there are a lot of options when you're dealing with trying to just launch the app to begin with. All right, so we have these debugs. This should honestly help me now know what's going on, which is great. All right, so that works. I'm okay with a separate like entry into the app right now for that. Hey, Mono, what's up? Let's rebuild. I guess we're still, oh, it probably didn't rebuild the Firebase client. Let's build Firebase, app core. Okay, well, that's fine. So then we can go into different options here. Ooh, nice. F1 is staying up late for the F1. Totally makes sense. Hopefully, who you want to qualify qualifies. I am not up to snuff on the F1 stuff, but I know people who are, and they are very big about it. So hopefully it all works out for you, and staying up late was worth it. All right, so like I said, we were working on last time. I got the previews to work. Let's get this, where'd warp go? McLaren. I feel like I know that name. I don't know why, but I feel like I know that name. So here we go. Let's hope McLaren goes in. Where am I going? Coffee tracker. There we go. Yeah, you shouldn't have been made fun of for that, but yeah. They're usually orange. Don't feel bad about the font choice, the font sizes. I've slowly started I've slowly started going into larger font sizes as well. Update, logging for previews. Previews now work as well. How goes the coffee update? Firebase behaving. As of right now, we haven't actually touched Firebase. When I launched this for the first time today, it did not work because I was trying to access Firebase, configure Firebase before it was ready. So putting it inside a view, like a wrapper view, and then launching into the package via the wrapper view totally works. So we're good now. So now it's behaving. And now we gotta actually get this written into here. Where is save called from? That's where it was last time. You're choosing chaos. All your files are in a top level and not going to be organized until the end of V1. Hey, that, like, sometimes that is what you need to actually get things shipped, and I totally get it. I personally cannot work that way. I have tried working that way, and then halfway through, I end up saying, oh no, I need to reorganize this, and then usually means re-architecting the app a bit. It's a little bit of a mess for me if I do that. But, you know, you totally can, and that is perfectly great. List view. Here we go. And where does... Okay, so being in is new sheet presented. Okay, so this is the save feature here. You're adopting the ship it mentality this year, must ship. Yeah, I get that. I really want to adopt that mentality a lot of like, just ship it. Don't worry about all the fancy stuff that goes into it. I have a really hard time not worrying about all the other stuff that goes into it. But the like, just ship it attitude is something I really need to be better at adopting. I'm taking it in pieces. So like normally I would have actually just like nixed the like, I would have been like, okay, I have to set up the emulators. I have to do a lot of this like testing and all this kind of jazz to get this app going. I decided not to. I do have some tests. I do have some tests in here though. Sorry for the voice. I do have some tests in here, but usually it's like formatting tests that I don't want to break. So like I want these URLs to return what I expect them to return basically. So like that kind of stuff. But like formatting needs to just stay consistent, but I'm not doing like a test first approach where I have to test each function. You feel like you shipped too early. I don't know. It feels like you're getting a lot of stuff out, which is totally fine. And then it puts pressure to keep going and build it if you get the ship in out, like you get people interested in it. All right, where am I? Well, you got to do it, Michaela. Get off chat. Stay watching, but get off chat. Go work towards stream. Go work toward get Xcode going. You know, that kind of thing. You got it. I'm just being silly. Of course, I'm not going to push you to do that, but you can do it. I believe that you can get this app built in 2 months. Okay, so this is the new bean button. So we need to do func here. Actually, well, get off chat. I should have never even joined the stream. You chat too much. It's fun though. It's fun to be on stream. So since I'm now saving to Firebase, I wonder if I should set up some listeners here. So right now I do this save as like a callback because I didn't quite know what I was doing with my database at the time, right? I didn't know if I was going to be just writing to the database. Like I didn't know what my database was. So was it Swift data? Was it core data? Was it Firebase? Was I going to be writing my own database? Which, to be honest, in the just ship it mentality, no, I'm not. But like the deal with the save was like, I don't know if I just want to access it from the deal with the callback for the save was then I'm not like pigeonholed into this one feature. So if I need to call the new bean view from somewhere else, like in a different type of in a different feature, it's not dependent on the save function can act differently based on where it's called from if I needed to. But with using firestore, since I can set up listeners where I needed to, I don't think I need to have this as a callback anymore. I think I can probably just save it inside this view and call it done. So let's do that. because Firestore will allow me to set like a snapshot listener, so I can just repopulate that list over and over and over again. Save. And then everything is going to be upset now. But let's only focus on the new bean view. Do I have it already dependent on Firestore, my Firebase client? No, let's do that. Cool. For real though, stripping back features are really, really hard. Trying to find like the essence of like what a feature actually is super hard to do. Especially when you want everything to just like work as expected. Like when like you think that one feature is really dependent on this other feature, it's like, how do you start paring that back? Like, is it really that dependent? Okay. So in here, create bean and user. We take in a bean. Oh, this should be decently easy, I think. Because I should just be able to call that through and it should save it. Let's grab the environment. I think that's how it has to be, right? Import Firebase client. Let's get the preview set up right. Dot environment. False. Actually, I'm gonna go take this one step further. Well, do I need to? Probably not. It's fine. Never mind. Not gonna take it one step further. Again, focus on getting the function in. Dot client dot create bean in user. Wait, async. So wait, and this needs to be async. Do catch, try, it should be, is it try await, right? It'll tell me. And let's import the utilities here. And then, of course, we have to import OS log. I think that should, we'll have issues with getting the roaster in, I think would be the most issue. But for the time being, I think this will work. Let's catch up on chat. You pushed a friend to strip back his app to basics after you worked on it for 2 years and get it shipped before it took another year. He has users and the feedback is the core functionality needs a lot of work. Yeah, I am really like, a bit nervous of that with a lot of apps that I go for. But it's great that he was able to strip it back so far, to be honest, because like now he knows the core functionality. Like that's really what you need to get that done. Let's run it. Oh, this is, hold on. I need to get the environment in a lot of different places now. So let's build, because like this no longer. FB. Let's hide that. Oops, we can just boom. Sorry. Let's see. All right, and then where does this come from? This probably comes from the tab view, I would guess. Tabs. Yeah. Oh, and the environment's already passed through. Great. Let's run it and see what happens. Yeah, these places are awesome for very quick iterative feedback. Honestly, like that totally makes sense, especially without pre-launch marketing. Like going somewhere where you can get as much feedback as possible is the best thing. Let's see if that gets added. Oh, missing or failed, insufficient permission. So cool. Let's go figure out what I did wrong with my security permissions, because I'm sure I've done lots wrong. Oh, I probably need to do something. Can I do like slash asterisk? That might work. So basically what I'm trying to do here is a user can read, update, and delete anything that is inside their own user ID bucket, right? I think that should be okay then. Yeah, it looks like it might have worked. Let's see. Nope, still insufficient things. What is anything even getting written? Probably not. No. I'm confused by their snapshot listeners. I don't think I have any snapshot listeners like set up, but okay. Yeah, this honestly like is like really easy to hold up because of the press like wanting it to like make a really good impact. It's honestly why I haven't actually been back to blueprint, which I need to go back to at some point, because I also wanted to do all that. So I think I need to pare back down. Also, the more I use it, the more I also need to reassess like how features are presented and such in the app itself. But yeah, that is like wanting to be amazing from the get-go is really like, I feel like a big barrier to entry. I'm sold. I want this app. I don't know what it is yet. I like amazing apps. Yep. You're sold on that app. That's great. I love that. Okay, but why? We can read if the request is not null. Oh, what if it's, I don't know. Only one glob is permitted to match a declaration path. Nope. You'll buy a new phone and then you're all on board. Huh. Let's go read about. I might actually need to get a emulator set up at some point. Docs. There we go. I need. Oh, yeah, you definitely need a new phone to support iOS 17. But I understand it's just testing devices, so you probably don't want one specifically for that. Want to spend the money on that, I should say. Let's do secure and validate data. Once you get a few subscribers, you'll buy a new phone as a reward for getting paid users. Hey, that's a good idea. Okay, so data in Cloud Firestore is organized into collections of documents. Each document may extend the hierarchy through subcollections. Security rules apply only at the matched path, so the access controls defined on the cities collection does not apply to the landmarks collection. Okay. When nesting match statements, the path of the inner match statement is always relative to the path of the outer match. Recursive wildcard. So if you want rules to apply to an arbitrarily deep hierarchy, use the recursive wildcard syntax. Match cities document equals asterisk asterisk. Okay, so let's try this. I thought that's what it was doing, but I guess not. Oh, do I probably need to do that, and then I have an extra one somewhere. Publish. Because we already have to make sure that auth is not equal to nil, so yeah. You wanted to make your own Vapor backend for this app, but that's definitely not MVP mindset, but it makes the experience much better. See, and that's where like it's really hard, right? Do you want to like I feel like this is like honestly the hardest part for me is you want to make you wanted to make your own Vapor backend for this app, but that's definitely not an MVP style mindset, but it makes the experience much better. is it the experience for you much better or the experience for the user much better, basically? So like, could you get away with doing your, like these are the things I have to ask myself. Because if it's an experience for the user, and it's kind of like these are the questions I have to ask myself. Like, is it experience for the user or is it experience for me? And then I also have to weigh the answer across like what makes me want to work on the app as well at the same time, especially for like side projects, right? Like I have to want to work on it. So if the answer comes back to like, actually it doesn't matter. Like the backend itself does not matter for this app. It is like what the user will see. I can make whatever backend work to make the experience the exact same for the user. Great. Then I then have to justify, is it worth it for, what is worth it for me to actually work on it? Will the Vapor project make it more fun for me to work on and want to work on? Probably. But then it's weighing how fast does it allow me to get shipped out? Like if I choose to go the core, because usually I'll go for core data, or let's just say Firestore in this case. If I choose to go the Firestore route, does that actually make me want to work on the app more? If the answer is no, then that app still isn't going to be shipping in my mind at the end of the day because I'm not going to want to work on the app. It's a really weird like balance of things. But if the answer is probably, because then I get to play it in my hand, like play with it more in my hand and get it out to people faster. And that's the feedback that I need more to keep working on the app. Then 100% like don't make the custom backend app. I actually went through this with Blueprint because originally I was going to use Firebase for it. And then that was a struggle. I was just not enjoying it at all. Like the sign in with Apple, building in sign in with Apple was not a fun experience for me. So I was like, great, I'm going to scrap that. And then I went to Firebase and it was great, a lot easier. And then I was like, I'm not enjoying building it though, knowing that the data isn't as private as I'd like it to be honest. Like I wanted that data to be really owned by the user. And if it's going into Firebase, that data is not owned by the user. It's owned by Google at the end of the day. Sorry. I figured. And then I switched to a core data backed database because it gets owned by the user with CloudKit, private CloudKit. I can then, if I wanted to build in sharing features, which I had thought about, like that's part of CloudKit itself. So there were a lot of things that were like lining into place to doing, to doing that allowed me to keep building it. And now I just stopped because I got bored of the project itself. Not bored of it. I just haven't felt the need to go back to it yet because I've been running it in test flight and it's been great. But there are features that I need to go back and polish a bit more. Asking yourself these questions and just still deciding. That's the hard part, right? Like you gotta, sometimes the questions also evolve over time and you just gotta figure out when do you just keep pushing through the issue, basically. Oh, and also something that helps me with this, because like I get there where I ask myself these questions and then the questions I still keep going back to and asking the same questions, is I actually write down the answer as to why I went this route, to remind myself why, like I don't want to revisit the topic again later until a launch has happened, basically. Having one is 1,000 times better, but you can get away without having one. I see. Yeah. If you can get away without having one, then like, I think honestly, like writing it down at this point so that you have your reasons for not wanting one will allow you to stick to that decision more, to be honest. I think this works. I think that works. Publish. All right. Let's try this again now. So basically how I rewrote the security rule is users and user ID are allowed to update, delete, or anything inside that user ID collection. Then, right, is that how it is? Is it a collection at that point? Yeah, collection. Sorry, inside that document. Then in any collection in there. Whoops, rules. But then any collection, for whatever collection it's asking, the document, it doesn't matter, will have the same. You have to be authorized. The user has to be the right one to make the request for this user ID, so they have to match. And you can create, and if that document inside that collection does not exist, we can create it as long as they're not authorized, as long as they're signed in. I think that's the way to do this. Oh, I just ran it. Okay, let's try again. All right, so it looks like I did not get an error this time for the writing. Let's go into data and see if it's there. We have a beans document, and we have a new document. We have a beans collection, and we have a document with the bean, and the row style is a 1. Sweet. I need to change that from being a number to actually being the string that is over here in this row style, dark, light, medium. But that's awesome. So now we can, users have the option to write a bean to their database. So the most important part was getting that rule correctly. That was like the hardest part of this. Slightly self-promoting, but the app you're building is for sending you notifications about your projects to yourself, right? So by you launching early, you send a notification on new users and a couple other good events. So me getting those notifications during the day makes you want to go run home and keep working. It's been great motivation. That's awesome. That's great. I do the same thing with like Revenue Cat to like a private Slack. So basically Revenue Cat, I have it for iHog, and it's been like kind of what's motivating me to work on iHog a bit more. Every time a new trial starts or cancels or whatever happens with the subscriptions, I get a notification to go like, hey, this happened. Please go work on it. So yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, motivation is hard, and that is a great way to stay motivated. Drop a link, Mono. I think you can. If you can't, I'll pull up a link, but you should drop it. Oh, everything went away. I love that. Okay, so we got this written. Like I said, I need the row style to actually match. There's a couple things I need inside this document to make it worth it. We need the row style to actually match both the property here for row style, dark, light, medium, for the key itself, and then also I need it to and then also I need to copy that text into this document. Yeah, definitely. Glad I can give you some features while you're trying to focus on what's necessary for this app. So I'm glad I can help you there. Yeah, also, I would love a Discord integration. Let me just add another thing here. Hey, App Store totally makes sense. Let me just give you another feature request here. A Discord bot as well would be great. Or if there's like a webhook or something I can use to post to my own Discord. That way, I like Discord better than Slack. I would like to cancel my Slack at some point, but yeah. I've also seen on Threads a lot more like SaaS people are going towards Discord just to, I'm guessing to like help this. People aren't happy with like the way Slack's going. All right, so like I said, we need to get the roast style to match. So instead of how did I even do this? Yeah, it totally does. The free tier history is where it hurts. And then there's also been some weird changes to like, I don't know, some of the sidebar stuff. I know that people aren't happy with that kind of stuff, but yeah. I get it. The selected roaster is -1. No, where is it? Roast style. Oh, because it's like, it's just an int, which makes sense so that the IDs go. Yeah, you don't like the new sidebar. Yeah, see, people have feelings. I personally don't. It's not that I don't care about it. It's that I don't use Slack, except for, like I said, in this case. Somehow I'm at a startup that really doesn't use Slack, which is weird. Yeah, Discord is end-to-end, is not encrypted. I'm almost positive you're right. So nothing's really private with them. We actually started using, so like I was saying at work, we don't use Slack. We also don't use Teams. We started using something called the Matrix protocol. Here it is. So this is what we use for our work app, basically. So it's it's kind of like the thought behind Mastodon. It's decentralized, so everyone has their own. So like, if we were talking about the dev club versus my own Discord, they would each be their own matrix rooms that we could connect to, basically, to each other. And it includes all the like video calls, stuff like that, as well as part of their spec. Yeah. So what happens though, so like I said, is that and then you have different clients that you have integrated. So mainly everyone here uses like the Element client at work, and apparently they're trying it in Element 2. I don't know how that works. But yeah, and it works the same. It works almost the same as Discord and Slack. It's missing a little bit of features, but you know, it works. And everything is end-to-end encrypted. So like one-on-one messages with people. So private messages with people are encrypted, where other people in the company actually can't read them, which is kind of neat. And then also the rooms themselves, like the spaces, I think are also encrypted with everyone that's in that space. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, this would be something cool to look into. I was actually tempted. I don't like hosting side of things. Like I get really nervous about hosting my own servers and stuff. But I was actually looking into this for like iOS dev space. So for people who don't know, I also run the Mastodon instance iOS dev space. I was really tempted to start, like someone at some point had asked for a Discord group with this as well, which would be cool. But I'm like, there's like 8,000 other Discord groups. Something that I think would be really playing into the Mastodon decentralized area would be like opening up a Matrix server instead and let people join from one to the other. I haven't floated that idea around anyone because hosting seems really hard, and I don't necessarily want to do that yet. And like even for Mastodon, I have a separate hosting provider. But it is something that I might be interested in at some point. So like all these people do like host it. Like I can host, I can go through them for hosting services. Anyway, back to coding for a little bit. Let's do a Let's add some fields here. It can just be a var. It can be internal. FB key. Switch on self. Light, medium, dark. So that's in the roast style. Let's actually get a new file. Roast style. We're going to extract this out because it's just grown a little bit too much to have it in its own, to be living in the top of that dock anymore. A lot of these are literally the same word, but that's okay. I'm okay with that for right now. So roast style, how... All right, sounds good, Michaela. Thanks for hanging out. It was definitely fun chatting. I'll talk to you later, I'm sure. How is... Like, I want to get the roaster, the roast style value of, oh, let's just do this. Public var, roast, FB, roast key. And this is gonna be a string, right? And it's gonna be roast style dot FB key. That makes sense to me. So let's only used to send the roast key to write the roast key to the FB doc. Cool. And then does that what, because it's codable. Would that be, I mean, that wasn't sent there though. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I have that option. So as long as the roast style comes back as 1, I can know that that 1, I'll know in the code that where that goes. I guess it's fine. I just feel like it'd be better to have it written out here, like in the right property. I guess that's where custom coding keys comes into play, maybe. Where's the init? Let's get that out of the way. Let's just do this. Self dot roast FB roast key equals roast style dot FB key. And then inside oh, I don't have water. Thanks, CJ. One sec, I'll be right back. I need to go get water. I usually do have water. I just did not have it today. But I usually do have water. Hey, Cowie Girl. Mr. Cowie Girl. How's it going? But thank you for thank you for making sure I had water today. I appreciate it. But usually I do have water. All right, let's hop back into some Firebase stuff. Sweet. All right. So Firebase roaster key. So in the new bean view though, we need to also set this. So roaster dot append show new roaster equals false. Cool. You're doing great. Good. I am also doing great. It's been a good time. Hey, Nutter. How's it going? Happy Friday. What's going on? FB roast key equals roaster roast style. So, how do I get the roast style though? Where is that? New bean dot roast style. Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's easy. New bean dot roast style dot FB key. Because that is not open. That is not public. I can't access it. That's fine. I'll just make it public. Where'd this go? Bean. Cool. So we have this new bean here. It's gonna set that. So now if I save this, replace. Oh, I totally forgot to do this though. Bah. Test again. Dark roast. I realized when I hit save, I don't want this to be called, where'd it go? I don't want this to be called FB roast key inside Firebase. Like, I don't want it to be called that. What do I want it to be called? I want it to be really close to what this is. So roast underscore style. So let's do equals. How do I set custom coding keys again? Custom coding key Swift. Because I just want them to be I want all the others to stay the same. Make it string conformable. There we go. Roast style. So by conforming to string coding key, that should give me a roast style there. So let's rerun that. All right, sounds good, Mono. Have a good race and go McLaren. Woo! Does the coding key work? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Save. User me beans. Roast style is dark. Sweet. So I have a roast style here that's like 2, which honestly we don't probably need in here anymore. So this is like the enum value of that, and then this is the dark value. So this is the value that goes to the like Firebase property itself. This is the enum in Swift. So actually we probably will keep this. I just don't know if that's the right name for it in Firebase. In firestore, I should say. Think about renaming for the key in Firebase, in firestore. We're gonna keep it for now. Like, it's okay because it'll just change here. And like I said, no users are here, so it's gonna be fine because it's not gonna like really mess me up much if I change this. Also, if I change it here, I think it should work. No, it might not work. It'll be okay. All right, so I don't think there's much more that I need to store. At some point, I'll need to get roasters in here as well. Let's get the list going back. So git add. Write bean to database to firestore. Closes number 85. Let's do a new issue here because I didn't write it. Read beans from firestore. Oops. Read and list the user's beans from firestore. That is actually done. Let's make this into an issue. Assign myself. Sure. Cool. I'm gonna try to keep this project thing up to date and only do what's inside the project, the GitHub project, on this stream, so that I can be focused. Helps me focus on like what needs to be shipped out, and then also on top of that, This is open source, so if other people really want to pick something up, I can obviously fill out the tickets and get the tickets to where other people could also join in. Of course, it's a little hard right now because of the fact that I don't know what the database really looks like yet, like data structure and stuff, but we're getting there, so that's cool. Okay, so what I really want to do here in the Firebase client, in the Firebase client live, I'm pretty sure I want to have, I want to set up the snapshot listeners, and that way they can just update basically by themselves. So part of using Firestore is this really neat, let's go to docs again. Part of using Firestore is they have these ways to like listen to data that gets updated and stuff like that. So read data. So there's real-time updates, that's what I'm talking about. So there's this db.collection.cities document, and then I get the document, right? Local rights in your app will invoke snapshot listeners immediately. This is because the important information feature called latency compensation. When you perform a write, your listeners will be notified with the new data before the data is sent to the back end. Events for metadata changes. I probably want to listen to multiple documents in a collection, right? Cool. Oops. Hydro flask, go away. I feel like there should be ways for me to let's just try to add the snapshot listener and see what happens. So Firestore, this work? Yeah. Public func, listen for changes, not listen for changes, func, set up beans snapshot listener. And this might not even have to be a public func. Actually, this should be a private. I think it should be internal. It should be fine. So db.collection collection.beans.raw value Firebase client, so that things work right. Add a snapshot listener. Is that all I want? Oh, nope, cancel. Whoops. Yeah, so snapshot listener. What? Error. Code. I don't know. It's not, I don't know. Wow. Log. Let's do a import utilities, import logger, os log, .debug, beans collections have changed. So if let, so we want to do if let, well, are these both? Nope. All right, so let's do a guard, let error, guard error does not equal nil, else We'll just return out because we don't want to do any, well, we'll want to do something at some point, but FB client.error. No, we want to do guard error equals nil. Let's grab the function also in here. Cool. Guard let snapshot. In theory, you either get a snapshot or you get an error. So like, there's really not an issue here. Shouldn't be an issue here. No snapshot and no error. This is weird. Logger.fb client. Snapshot dot value dot count. We'll just see what it brings back. Cool. And then inside live, we want to do this basically when we initialize. So let's do a initialize snapshots. DB, or sorry, not DB dot. We want to call setup being snapshot listener. So let's run that, and I think what we'll see happen, hopefully if I did this right, oops, is I need to do the other scheme, replace. Maybe I didn't do this right. Beans collections have changed, but there's nothing to change. Let's try again. I hit save, but it's the same thing. I wonder if I should use snapshot.data. Well, I'm probably doing something wrong because it's looking for collections, but it's not doing all the documents. So listen to multiple connection this. As with documents, you can use on snapshot instead of get to listen to the results of a query. This creates a query snapshot. For example, to listen to the documents with state value. It looks like it is doing it though. Maybe. So if you no longer need to listen, you can detach it, handle listen errors. That's not what I need. It's definitely adding because like we have these new things. Delete document. Oh, can I just delete the document? Start. Delete. And like, it's definitely not getting this info here. So what's going on? Do I have to have a listener though if I'm trying to do this? Like a separate listener? What am I trying to order by? Is it name? Name. Let's try again. Negative. Awesome. I don't know why this isn't working, and apparently I need a stand. And I also need to go soon. Beans collections have changed. Okay. Oh, my collection's wrong. That's why, haha. When you're doing this and you're dealing with nested collections, make sure that you're actually like listening for the proper thing here. For the proper like collection reference. We'll actually not throw anything because it'll be fine. Actually, we do want to throw. Do I want to throw? Sure. No. We'll just log it. Logger.fbclient.error. There should be a way for me to declare like this error. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so that should break out if it doesn't work. So this takes a user, the document, and then the collection, and then we order it by the name, and then we add the snapshot listener. I think this will actually work now. So like if I go to, oops, go away, FB client. So we have the sign in attempt. There was no user signed in. I don't know. Oh. Yeah. I guess we really should just set up these after the user signed in, right? So not here, because the user's not going to be signed in here. Part of signing in the user will be actually setting up the initialize snapshots. That's where we should initialize the snapshot. So because I need the user ID, the user has to be signed in first. There we go. Now we have 6 and 3 options. So then if I test again, hit save. Now we have 4 beans, and inside the firestore we also have 4. Sweet. All right, so now it's making sense. Now it's working. It helps when I, 1, initialize in the right areas, and then 2, also make sure I'm signed in first and using the proper path. I wonder if there's a way. So like if we do a private func, make path, path to user data, and it's gonna return something. I don't know what it returns, but I think it's a doc ref. Is that collection reference? Document reference. Well, yeah, path to user document throws, and we can actually probably do that. And then return the document reference there. Path to user dot, we'll call this user doc. So then here we can just do a doc ref equals user doc. That's just gonna be way easier here. I mean, it just cuts down a little bit on these always having to try. Dot collections. So it's just like encompassing it a little bit more up here. Else, we'll just return out. Because, yeah, we'll need that log still. Logger dot error here. Sweet. All right. Those now cause the snapshot listeners to happen, which is great. Now we need to listen. So we have these snapshot listeners. Now we need to actually have a place to listen for these. I mean, a place to put these. So every time the snapshot happens, does it add in a new? Yeah, I get all of them back. Not just the last thing. I feel like this should just be, there should be something that I can listen on, like well, I guess it won't be a publisher. Like I can, Update beans. We'll have a public var beans. There's a circular dependency between Firebase client and beans. Awesome. That's great. I love when that happens. Do I actually... Oh, not beans. It should import models. I wonder if models should actually live inside Firestore at some point. Where was that? That was in Firebase client. Models. And I think package probably still needs Firebase client. Oh no, it already has models. Okay, great. Cool. So then update beans. Let data equals snapshot dot data documents. Let's see if I can get this done. Data as being dot self. Be equals this, try, else, no, return bean, I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. Let's see. Oh, this is probably actually what I want, is to get the document changes for each. Right, but that's not what I wanted to do. How do I get us all document? How do I get the data, get a document as that? Oh, this should just be continue, not return. Nope, that is wrong. Also, return nothing. All right, I need to pause because I have stuff I have to do today besides this. We will pick back up next week with how to actually continue this. Yeah, so we will pick back up next week with how to actually continue reading from Firebase and all that kind of jazz. I'm doing something wrong with my snapshot errors, but that should be easy to fix hopefully next week. Thanks everyone for dropping by. Weeru, thanks for the subscription again. I really appreciate it. Definitely appreciate all the chat and such. We had a really good conversation today about paring down features and how to really get focused on a thing if you really need to. Part of why I do the stream is because I love these conversations that spur out. If you had a great time, definitely hit subscribe, follow, whatever you have to do. If you're looking for a cool streamer to follow, definitely give Nutterfi, who was here in a chat, a little bit of some love as well. Go check out his stream. Mono posted awesome links to his new app for API for getting like notifications when like new users and stuff join your app. Also really great for motivation. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next stream. Bye, y'all.